wondered how different life would be if you did not grow up with the parents that you did? Everything would be extremely different. From the house you grew up in, the school you attended, the group of friends you hung out with, the food you ate, and maybe even your political views. There are approximately 1.5 million children pondering these same topics in the United States alone. The word adopt is defined by the Merriam-Webster dictionary as to take by choice into a relationship and also as to take voluntarily as one's own child. Hundreds of thousands of children have lost their family through abandonment, violence, and betrayal. These children earn a right to a loving family with caring parents, just as much as any other child does. There are many supporters of adoption and just as many who oppose it. So, which side is correct? I'm going to outline the positive, negative, and the neutral side of adoption. The first main point I would like to discuss deals with a couple of positive features regarding adoption. First of all, according to an article in AmericanAdoption.com in 2011, an estimated 25,000 to 30,000 infants are adopted domestically each year. This statistic implies that there is an average of 55,000 parents who have chosen adoption for their child. This is a graph from 2001, so it's a little bit outdated. It shows here that there were 21,000 adoptions in the United States in 2001 compared to the 12,000, because this is 1900 to 1995, is 12,755, and then an average of 21,000 in 2001. So it's showing the substantial rise in adoption. Adoption is a great option for parents who are unable to afford the necessities that their baby will require. Parents who are not sure if adoption is right for them should first decide what is right for the baby. Parents who are contemplating adoption need to figure out if they have the means to adequately provide for their baby. If not, adoption may be the choice. Adoption can provide a vast amount of opportunities for that child as it matures. It will most likely grow up in a healthier household, possibly be taught in a better school system, have further access to more extracurricular activities like sports, music, and then many other options. Also, every child deserves a desirable home and family life. Adoption is a positive thing for couples who can't have babies. There are a large number of women who are unable to have babies for reasons stemming from medical issues to religious choices. It is a noble approach for a husband and wife to show their contributions to the world through a child. Adoption is a great way for those couples who are unable to conceive to still have the opportunity to start a family of their own. These are just a few of the positive viewpoints of adoption. As with every debatable topic, there are both positive and negative sides. I will now inform you on some of the negatives of adoption. Telling a child that they have been adopted is extremely difficult for both the parents and the toddler. Earlier, in 2001, Arette Bowes stated that telling a child that they have been adopted does not have to be a major undertaking, as it is often to best introduce the idea slowly and over time. Once the child knows they are adopted, they may begin to wonder why. Why me? Why didn't my real parents want me? What did I do wrong? These negative thoughts are bad for kids. Always trying to search for the answers could lead the kids down a road of depression. However, the adoptive parents really love and support their child. They are a huge blessing to an adoptive couple. Most likely, the mother has been present every day of that child's life, showing support and reinforcement. Another negative aspect to adoption is the possibility that the child will never meet its real birth parents. This can be a difficult situation from a couple different angles. One would be the fact that the child would not know its birth family's medical history. They would have no way to find out if there are any hereditary diseases that run in the family. This can be vital to a child's health. Another negative side to not knowing their birth parents is the wondering sense of, will I ever meet them? Once the adopted child is old enough, they can make a personal decision to look for the birth parents, or not. If they decide against the meeting, they may always wonder what the relationship would be like if they had found them. If the child does find its birth parents, they will most likely set up a meeting. This reunion has a huge possibility of being emotionally draining for both parties, and really hard to handle. But now the adopted kid will have two families to call their own family, who love and support them equally. The issues I have previously stated are a few negative outlooks on adoption, but hopefully I have persuaded most of the opposers for adoption. Along with the pros and cons to adoption, there's also a neutral side. For those who are unsure of where they stand on adoption, let me share some of the reasons adoption is advantageous. It is a positive benefit to our society. A child who is born to a poverty-stricken family may need the aid of free lunches at school, food stamps, and possibly even Medicaid. If these children can be adopted into a more fortunate family, they will not need to lean on society for their necessities. Another idea to consider for those who are undecided on adoption is the thought that adopted children may end up being more productive members of society compared to if they had stayed in their birth home. They will have more opportunities to grow and to learn better compared to if they have stayed with their birth parents. They would also be provided the necessary regulations and provisions to help them grow into mature adults. My dad was adopted when he was 5 years old. He has 7 real brothers and sisters from his birth parents and 5 adoptive brothers and sisters. My dad's mother died shortly after giving birth to him and his identical twin brother. His father was an extremely irresponsible individual and did not take proper care of my dad or any of his siblings. My dad had the opportunity to interact and grow up with several kids his own age, which led him to become the person he is today. Every one of his birth siblings had been adopted by a better family, which meant that my dad was unable to see or talk to his brothers and sisters because he had no way of contacting them. He didn't know who had been adopted by what parents, where they are, a phone number to reach them at, an address to go see them at. So he didn't have contact with his real siblings for a really long time. All of his real siblings now have productive and healthy families of their own. We visit them on a daily basis. I couldn't imagine not knowing them because they're a big part of my life. When I asked my dad if he thought he was better off in an adoptive household compared to the family he was born into, he responded by saying yes, because I was provided a more stable environment where additional emphasis was put on family and support. Although adoption can be emotionally difficult, the benefits do outweigh the negatives. I have previously stated a few positive, negative, and neutral effects to adoption. Any way you look at it, adoption is extremely beneficial to multiple groups of people. It helps the children, the families, the birth parents. I hope I have influenced everyone's perspective on adoption, whether I reinforce the people who are always for adoption, and especially those who are formally against a concept. If I fail to persuade you in my speech, this should do it.